Hello and welcome to Footy Central. I'm Dermott Brereton. This is James Hird, and every week I have to ask you this, James. I have to. Every week I come in here, except for last week, and say to you, any news? And you go, nothing. And then lo and behold, 20 minutes later, somebody says, have you heard the news? James got interviewed again. Or have you heard the news? James has spoken to such and such. Have you got anything you want to put on the table for us?
No news, Derm, but welcome back. Welcome back,
Thank
by the
you.
way. You look a bit browner and a bit happier than you've left the Melbourne winter off to, where'd you go? Fiji, Bali, somewhere?
Just went to Bali. Most
Bali,
people on your side of the neck of the woods, they go to Europe in the middle of the year. I can only afford...
You're on the same side.
I can only... I'm an old Frankston boy. I can only afford Bali.
Frankston boy. You live just round the corner, by the way. But anyway,
not.
You did so. You did so. But anyway.
Yeah, lost that. Who won the week?
Who won the week for me? The Brisbane Lions won the week. Loman, Morris, like their
good,
young forwards were just absolutely sensational. And Brisbane were criticised or questioned by everyone in the AFL after their performance against Carlton, but didn't they put on a beast of a performance? And it couldn't happen against a nicer side in the Hawks. I was sitting there on a Friday night just rubbing my hands thinking, good on you, the Lions, even though the Brisbane Lions caused me a bit of pain in my career. It was good that they beat the Hawks. But the way they did it, I think, was just that free-flowing football, good round the contest, get it into your young forwards. And not sure if you saw the game, Derm.
I did.
The Hawks looked a bit
unsure?
Underwhelming.
Yeah. Well, I did see one thing. I thought, if Eric Hipwood is clunking one-touch grabs, contested marks, I think it's not our night. But he did kick well. It's good to see him find a little bit of form again. And the Hawks were overwhelmed, as you call it, and also outgunned. I think they were physically pushed around a bit in contest. Heavy work off the ball as well.
Who lost the week for you?
Who won the week for me?
Sorry.
I loved Georgie Wardlaw.
Yes, wasn't
and
he
putting the North boys up into the W bracket. Georgie Wardlaw is, as a footballer, he is chops and free veg.
Yeah.
There's nothing outlandish to him except he is what every red-blooded Aussie wants his son to be. Have a go to within the edge of your life, smash in, crack in, and be uncompromising. And some of that tackling, here he goes again. He was just wonderful to see a bloke who, he's not the most blessed midfielder in the comp, but by God, if you had any scale that says endeavour, effort, as I say, blood and guts for the contest, he is through the roof.
I think it stands out even more how rare it is because of the over-sanitisation of footy, the way it's played, the rules, the way it's done, even the way players are coached now that, you've got to do this. Just his vigour and his intent to win the footy and hurt when he's going at the contest reminds me of yesteryear. Yeah. Someone else I know.
Who?
Well, you'd love to.
No, I didn't play. Well, he's a midfielder.
No, I'm saying just the intent, just the vigorous nature of going for the ball.
Oh, no, that was the opposition. I used to go out. I didn't go for the ball.
I'm glad you...
Don't get
Finally, after 30 years, he's admitted he was a thug.
What a nice bloke. What a welcome back down. OK, who lost the week for you, Joe?
The Giants for me. I mean, they're 2 games now out of the 10 and there's 4,500 people, 5,000 people in Canberra. The weather was horrible, but that was a game they needed to win and they didn't. And I think that, Matty Rao got hold of them, but it wasn't the only thing. They just weren't able to get enough fluency with the ball. I thought the Giants would have won that game, put themselves in contention, but they now need things to happen for them to make the 10, which is disappointing with the talent they've got on their list.
16 players on their injury list.
True.
And I went through them this morning. I counted 12 who were automatic starts.
Yeah.
You take 12 out of any, what is it now, 23, that's half the team out of your first in walk-up starts.
Yeah, no, that is true. But it is a game that I look, for me, to miss the 10 for that quality of team, with injuries, yes, is disappointing.
Yeah.
Who lost the week for you?
The Saints on behalf of Nasiah Wanganeen. I mean, if they really want to go deep into the playoffs, or if they want to make the playoffs, you've got to have Naz out there. So this was awful to see so early on in this game. Bang, he's getting to the outside like he normally does, and he knows straight away. So that was just a dreadful moment.
Not a small one either. Like, that's a big hammy.
Yeah, no, the way he pulled up. But you've got a team that bases themselves around Naz's vision and kicking.
Yeah.
that's their linchpin. Yeah,
It's
probably out.
it's a bigger story. But if you look at what St Kilda have done, and I had a lot of admiration for what they did in the off season, just to change the narrative around their team. The fact that they may miss the 10, we're more looking for next year when the cohesiveness of the team comes together.
Yeah, so I think they're 9 and 12, 9 wins, 12 losses. So you'd put a hold on that when you saw them against Carlton and who Carlton have brought in the off-season and who Carlton have lost. I mean, they lost Curnow and they lost TDK. And you see who St Kilda brought in at big money and retained on big money. That's a hold on St Kilda. I'm not going to say they're a loss for this year, but...
Injuries, though, you look at... I mean, Silvani's shoulder the week before, although he played like that... Courageous effort by Silvani to play, but now they've got some injuries to senior players. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them.
James, it's time for Deep Dive. All right, let's crack in. And first up, Freo taking on Adelaide on Friday night.
Cracking game. I mean, look, Fremantle Football Club lost the game against Melbourne. I think that Melbourne, with their ball movement, really exposed Fremantle. But Fremantle are the sort of team that I reckon, if you know you're going to make the finals, you know you're going to be top spot as a player, you're 5% off. I don't care who you are, because you are looking after yourself. And the one thing that does come off when you are 5% off first is your team defence. So I thought Melbourne were able to cut their way through Freo and go from there. But it's a cracking game, which Adelaide need to win. I think for the credibility of their team.
So Freo are the best team in the comp. Look, that game goes another 3 minutes. Maybe Freo win. It goes 4 minutes. Maybe Melbourne win it back again. It was that close. But the one thing I would say, what we've discussed all year, the two players they can ill afford to lose coming up against good opposition. Tracy in the forward line, he pulls them all together and makes the other two key forwards much better. And the other one is Alex Pearce down back. When you force Brennan Cox to be the number one key defender, he's a good player, but he's not Alex Pearce. And that makes Ryan then have to step up, and then Chapman has to come up and step up as well. And they all have to shuffle up a level. And without Pearce down there just making things calmer, intercepting, or pulling the number one key forward from the opposition apart and just nullifying him, it's a player they can ill afford to lose.
And it's why we talk about team defence as opposed to the back six, because the way Fremantle defend, yes, they've got a reasonably good back six with Alex Pearce out, with Alex Pearce in, they're a fantastic back six. But team defence, the way the ball comes in, exposes them. I mean, when you started, there was 12 teams in the competition. With an extra 6 teams, every team has players that, you know, are less talented. But you need the whole team playing together, and one person out can really hurt you.
So the Crows were in reasonably good nick. They lost 3 weeks ago against Collingwood. They have the game style that can beat Freo?
Look, I think the way that Adelaide defend is excellent. The way they set up the ground in a defensive sense, but I don't think the way they attack gives you enough chance to get through Freo. What I mean by that is they attack skinny and they attack down one side of the ground without opening the ground up. If you're going to beat Freo, I think you have to, when you turn the ball over, have to go through the midfield. Obviously, you've got Tex. They've got the forward line that if you get it in there can do it, but I'm just not sure they get it in quick enough to give their forward line the opportunity.
Darcy Fogarty comes back after the suspension, so he'll give them another target, and he's one of those players again that will come back in and look, 8 touches can mean 3 goals. If he gets 5 shots at goal, he's probably going to kick 4 for you. Yeah. So, yeah, he'll be a big boost for them going forward. But I thought what beat Freo last week by Melbourne was their dare coming out of the deep pockets, defensive pockets or half-back line, going back in and working the ball through the middle.
Everyone looks at the stats about winning clearances, turnovers, what you do, but you've got to score off the back of them enough. You can't just win the turnover or win the clearance, you've got to score off the back. What Melbourne are very good at, with Cozzy and Max around the stoppage, they get to score off them, and then off turnover, as you said, they were so daring. I don't think Adelaide are daring enough off turnover to challenge Fremantle.
Yeah. James, you're about to get into Statmate.
Yes, we are. So Statmate. All right, Statmate as Statmate's one to watch. We're going to look at Collingwood here and Hawthorn Collingwood draw in round 8 last year. Earlier this year. And Dan McStay, 18 goals from his last 6 matches. I mean, I think he's the number 1 ranked forward in the last 6 weeks. He's having a terrific end-of-year renaissance.
Yeah, he's been very, very good over the last 6 weeks. So when that stat came up, I thought, Yeah, you know what? He's actually, even though it's 6 weeks, it's like he's crept up on the competition this year, because there were times I thought he's not in their best side.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of players trying to push past him. See, without that
that's
50 metres, that's the drawn game. Oh, that's a little high. According to me, anyway.
Who are you going for here?
Collingwood.
Collingwood.
Oh, I'm a former Collingwood player. Look, it should be good. Look, McStay will be up against Tom Barrass, who got exposed by a bit of movement against Brisbane last week. But if there's a type of player who should play on Daniel McStay, it's Tom Barrass.
Yeah, it is. And Barrass obviously last week was well beaten. But I think, as I said, Dan McStay, I would have thought at the start of the year there's no way he could complete this sort of form. But he's the sort of player that's worked on his game. He's clunking a few marks where he's dropping them early on. And, you know, as I said, 18 goals in his last 6 matches. In this day and age, to average 3 goals a game is outstanding.
Super.
Yep.
That tap down against Adelaide too, that tap down of the handball, regather and banana on the run, that's probably the most skillful thing I've seen in his career. But it was a brilliant, brilliant goal. What are you laughing at?
That's the most skillful thing. Is that a backhanded compliment?
No, it was seriously skillful.
All right.
Why do you always look for the bad vibe in every comment?
Well, because I know there's an underlying whack in there somewhere for me normally, maybe not for Dan McStay. But for more in-depth stats and insights, download the Statmate app. It is completely free. Statmate, your best mate for player stats.
Oh, thank you, James. Let's go to the round 23 preview. All right, and coming up first. There we go. We've got the header up there. Fremantle do take on Adelaide, and as you said, Adelaide do play fairly skinny. They play in straight lines and they say, we want the ball, we'll win the ball, we'll beat you, and we'll kick it on, and we'll do the same again. A little bit like Carlton have played, although they're a bit more daring now. Talk about that later.
2 players I want to talk about. One from Adelaide, Isaac Rankin. The way they can actually expose Freo is if we can get the ball into this man's hands, because he does break lines, he does change the angles with the ball, and he explodes out the front of stoppage. So he is one that if he gets a lot of the ball alongside Dawson, I think Adelaide can win. On the other hand, Murphy Reid. I think Melbourne did a very good job of curbing Murphy Reid's influence on the game last week, although he came home late. Those 2 players almost the barometers. If Murphy Reid's getting a lot of the ball, pushing it inside forward 50, Freo will have a good night. If Rankin gets a lot of the ball, Adelaide should have a good night as well.
Absolutely. What about the Fremantle midfield? They've been performing all year, and because they're not no names, they're very good players, but Sarong and Brayshaw just keep getting the ball, keep getting it done, keep winning at the source.
Absolutely. Who are you going for?
I am going for Fremantle, James.
Well, I need an upset to have any chance of winning, so I'm going for the Adelaide Crows.
I've got him. I've got him. I should have got belted last week too.
Yeah, you should have. But Jimmy rigged your tips and it backfired on us. So we actually rigged your tips while you were away.
I reckon
we changed them, and then the other teams got up. It serves us right.
I should have got 3 last week.
You got 7
real tips. That's incredible. Richmond take on St Kilda. Now, several weeks ago, we would have thought that the Tigers, no chance. Naz going out, so important to the Saints. And the Tigers were pretty good for most of the game last week. How do you see this for?
You're saying they're a chance?
So you're telling me I'm a chance?
Seriously, I mean, Richmond have been reasonable. Obviously, won against West Coast. Against Adelaide, they weren't poor. They only went down, and that was a very interesting game by Richmond to go into state and give yourself a chance of winning.
Yeah.
I thought it shows maturity. But I just think with St Kilda Football Club, they are still in line for that top 10. They need this win. Yes, they're not going to have Naz, but they have got a better list than Richmond at the moment. The way they play, they'll suffocate Richmond, and then their runners off the way halfback will dominate.
Touch and go with the De Koning plays after clunking, or nicking his shoulder again. But they've got the ready-made replacement that was already there.
Well, Marshall seems to play better when De Koning's not in the team.
Absolutely, he does. Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Didn't we all learn that at Melbourne with Grundy and Max?
Yeah, exactly.
The Saints should win.
I can't. I'd love to, but I'm going to go the Saints.
You should go for an upset here. As I said, they weren't too bad last week. North Melbourne take on the Cats. Can we see anything happening here from North Melbourne? I mean, George Wardlaw just led the way last week, as we've already showed. The Cats, once again, we've seen them just keep rolling on and accumulating?
Yeah, North Melbourne can. I think the young players are starting to come to form. And you're away last week, but the criticism of Alistair Clarkson that he might get sacked at the end of the year, that was sort of starting to bubble up, which is pretty ridiculous, really, seeing he's in his fourth year and you can see genuine improvement. So you can see genuine improvement. The win on the weekend by North Melbourne should give them a lot of confidence. And the game against the Cats, as long as it's not down in Geelong, I give North Melbourne a slight chance. That's a hard place to go, Geelong. But Geelong, really, I mean, they're just the way they systematically take sides apart is so impressive.
Yeah. Can I ask, well, we've got 10 seconds. North Melbourne, you mentioned Alistair Clarkson. Is it harder right now to bring a team from the very, very bottom up to finals contention than ever before?
Well, I think the history's saying that. I mean, you look at Richmond, look at West Coast, look at North, it takes longer. But no, North are almost there. I think that another year they'll get up into that wild card or at least finals. And
we're both going for the Cats?
Yes, we are.
All right, Brisbane Lions in the, what do we call this? The Q Clash, the home
Pineapple Grapple.
The what?
The Pineapple Grapple.
I've never heard that before. Gold Coast. So what do we see happening here? Or do we just think that Brisbane are just going to keep bubbling along?
Well, you'd have to think so. But Damien Hardwick, before the game against GWS, actually talked about his failings as a coach this year, the fact that he hasn't coached as well as he would have liked. He's changed some things in his game that he shouldn't have changed. So I think he's recognised that the season hasn't gone the way that they want. So that Brisbane midfield, to me, is the one that they've got to have a look at. Rao was absolutely... Sorry, the Gold Coast midfield, Rao was absolutely sensational. But they're up against the best midfield in the competition. Yeah. And every time Gold Coast play Brisbane for a game that matters, the depth of the Brisbane midfield seems to take over. They got talent on the Gold Coast side, the depth and who you can throw at Gold Coast from a Brisbane point of view seems to just push them over the line.
Surprised that Zach Bailey spent so much time deep in the midfield over the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think he wants to. I think that's part of trying to keep him as well. I think it's the retention policy. He's saying, well, I don't just want to be a deep forward. I want to come up and play around the midfield.
Yeah, we're both going Brisbane Lions. You should have a crack. You really should.
I know. I need to, but I just can't see Gold Coast beating Brisbane.
Good lad. That'd be murder to yourself if you went for Gold Coast. Hawthorn are taking on Collingwood. As I said, they had the draw last time. Collingwood are depleted, but they're Collingwood. They just keep finding a way to win games or at least be exceptionally competitive.
They had 10 players under 35 or 39 games last week against West Coast. That is unbelievable. It just goes to show that the Craig McRae system. And if you look at a long down the line contest at Collingwood, look at the way they're systemised and the way that all the players have it covered and the roles they're playing, that's what goes to me. Every player knows their role no matter who gets in that team. But they're up against a quality team in Hawthorn. I just can't see Hawthorn letting this one slip with the quality of player that's out for Collingwood. And the Hawthorn, this is their reputation back online, and they need a win just to get their game back and going. They're no chance of slipping out, but you'd have to think that Hawthorn will win this game.
You would have to think that they are going to do that, because I tend to think last week was a missed opportunity emotionally. They didn't come to the table. And I think Sam, just by the way he spoke during the week or after the game, would be saying, I'm not going to let that happen emotionally again.
Well, I think he said that. He said if we came up to play this game again, that performance would not happen.
Yeah. Hawks for me.
Unfortunately, the Hawks for me as well.
You love the Hawks. Underneath, you love the Hawks.
There's nothing I love about the Hawks at all. I can't believe you'd say that. It's like your feeling towards Essendon. We're on the bottom of the ladder.
I love Essendon. I hope Essendon win. No, I do. It just makes it more fun when you beat them if they're good.
That's just false.
No, if...
You're not allowed to go on TV and lie.
Good, if a team is good, it's more fun when you beat them. So I love beating Essendon. But
right.
Yeah, right. Port Adelaide take on Melbourne. Melbourne were incredibly good last week. Port have been smacked around with some injury, although they are a chance to get Georgiades back.
Yeah, danger game for Melbourne. I think that off the high of Freo, and every time they go away from the MCG off a high, they don't play as well. But again, a side that is not got the players they need in there for Port Adelaide. They've lost their midfield pretty much in totality, or the best three midfielders won't be playing. So you can't see Melbourne losing. But Josh Carr's had an unlucky year, I think, from a point of view. He set up a team to defend around the contest. He's lost his best three midfielders as the season's gone. And he's still hung on in a lot of games, just not got the result.
When you run out in the ground and you've had a really bad result there, does it affect you next time? Do you look at this ground and say, I'm not happy here? Or you just wipe it? Because this is I mean, my team, the Bombers, they beat Melbourne in Adelaide.
They did, but I don't think they're going to be thinking of that. I think they've moved on a long way since that. The only thing that I think Port Adelaide have got a chance for is Melbourne move the ball so quickly, and if they're too reckless, they'll turn it over and score. But I just don't think that's going to happen. So it's Melbourne for me.
Melbourne for me as well. GWS take on the West Coast Eagles. GWS, massive injury list, but they're taking on the West Coast Eagles, who cannot win a game.
Well, they've lost 5 in a row, and I thought 5 weeks ago everyone was saying West Coast have actually improved, and I was part of that. And I think individuals have improved. You've got Shanahan, you've got Reed's improved, Dersman improved. You've got players who have improved, but are they a better team? Well, potentially not. But this game, how do you pick this game with GWS? They've got their 2 personalities throughout a quarter. They've got injuries everywhere at home against the West Coast Eagles, who I think they need this win, West Coast, for their credibility for the year and to say it's a successful year.
So 2 weeks ago, during the game when Toby went off, I know GWS, they've beaten Fremantle, they've lost to...
I beat Brisbane.
Lost to Essendon.
Yes.
Great win, James. Slightly disingenuous.
Slightly disingenuous. Can you imagine working with a man who wants to undermine you in every way, lies about how he feels about you and your team? It's very, very difficult.
Who's that?
Very difficult. Who's going to win?
GWS just have to get it done.
Yeah, they do, but I'm going to go for West Coast.
Oh, yes. GWS for me. All right, go, boys. Western Bulldogs take on the Blues. Now, OK, so...
Game of the round.
Yep.
Absolute game of the round. Josh Fraser, they win this game. They announced Josh Fraser that night.
Why don't they just do it now? I mean, could you imagine...
There's a process to him. There's a process. You've got to go through a process.
Oh, we'll get put off air if I say bull whatever about it. The thing is, though, could you imagine the playing list if Carlton announced anyone other than Josh Fraser? They'll go, not playing for this club anymore.
No, I don't see a world he's not going to get it. I think now. He's won 10 games.
You know it, I know it. Yeah. Just do it.
He's won 10 games out of 12. Do you know how hard it is to win 10 games in a regular season out of 24, 23, with a pre-season, with a whole year? It's almost, Essendon and Richmond, West Coast, they'd love it. But he's won 10 out of 12. It's an incredible performance. But this game, they win this. They're in the wild card, potentially against Collingwood, on a Friday night at the MCG with 98,000 people.
Fantastic.
I'm going to that game.
Yeah. Have Bulldogs got any hope?
Obviously, yeah, absolutely they have. I think the Bulldogs are a forgotten team in this scenario. So, yeah, they've got a lot of hope. Who are you going for?
I'm going for Carlton. I just thought
the Bulldogs.
Their game was so good last week. The way they are using the ball, they're taking a lot more dare these days. Not looking great on Vossi's resume, is it now?
No, but I think a lot of what Vossi's taught them is still carrying through. A lot of their contest stuff is still standing up. So you're Carlton, I'm Bulldogs.
I'm Carlton, yep. I'm going the Blues. All right, the all-important Bombers v Sydney clash.
Why do you say it like that? We're still a team in the AFL.
It's very important.
We're still a team in the AFL. It's very important to you. I don't know. I'll let you go. Go on. You got 50 seconds here to tell us how Essendon's going to win.
How Essendon are going to win? I'll tell you how Sydney are going to win.
All right, well, tell us.
All right. Well, Sydney, sometimes the opposition are just better than you. And Sydney are better than what Essendon are going to put out on the paddock.
The in-depth
and that's all you need.
Of the game from Dermott Brereton. Why is Sydney going to win? It's not Goulden, it's not Warner, it's not the run-off halfback of Blakey, it's not the fact that they've got a new young Indatoli up forward kicking goals. It's just sometimes...
He was all right, wasn't he?
He's very good, young Datoli's very good. It's just sometimes the opposition's better than you.
Sometimes they're better than you and they play to their standard, they win.
On this occasion, is Sydney better than Essendon?
Undoubtedly.
All right, well, who are you going for?
Who do you reckon?
You're going for the Bombers, are you? You're going for the Bombers.
I love the fact that you're going to...
Get that on record.
You're going to stick fat with Essendon. Are you going?
Well, we've got the show... Yeah, I'll go for the first half. We've got the show Footy Furnace on later on that night, but we'll be going.
I think we're both going Sydney, just to put some...
I thought you were going for the Bombers. You flipped.
What are you, nuts? All right. James, it's a big round 4. All right. Who for you?
Oh, it's the Adelaide Crows for me. I mean, we've deep dived into this, but I just think they need some credibility. I'd like to see them. I think that they've got a very good defensive profile. They're an honest team, but if they want to have any hope in the finals or going further, I think they've got to get a bit more on the attacking side. And this guy has to have a big game. In Isaac Rankin. He missed the finals last year through a controversial situation. After we won't go into why he missed it, but he missed it. He would be salivating at the fact that he is coming in to a final series fit and firing. Remember they finished top of the ladder last year and didn't win a final when he went out? He could be the player of the final series, and he, for me, is the difference between the Adelaide Crows having a successful final series and not.
As you said earlier, they do play in straight lines, which makes them fairly one-dimensional. Tough to play against because they're honest and they will go at you. He gives them that point of difference on occasion where they go, we're expecting straight lines, and then Heath turns up, bang, he just carves his way through a pack or steps through, bangs it into the centre. He gives them the difference on occasion.
Absolutely.
So. All right.
Who for you? A deep dive? What do you...
Look... For me, I've got two, Collingwood and the Hawks. So they drew last time.
Yeah.
So Collingwood have to do something to give themselves a chance to actually continue their opportunity to make that playoff position. So, and once again, we've seen they're just decimated by injuries right throughout their team, but I love the fact that they just find a way constantly to win. Now, that was a little bit softer last week when they basically overran, just because they're a better team and they've got more, even though they've got some young players, their older champions were able to lead the way and they just nailed it by the end of the game. And on the flip side, Hawthorn, they've taken down Carlton. Carlton take down Brisbane. So you think this would be a good match. They were very ordinary. Yeah, but really ordinary against Brisbane. So one of these two teams is going to walk away bitterly disappointed or asking questions.
So Collingwood were more organised, more structured. Their game style was better than West Coast. That's why they beat them. But Hawthorn are very well organised. Their game style is excellent. And Sam Mitchell has a team playing the way, all in unison together. I don't think Collingwood are going to get away with just being able to beat the other team on structure and system, because Hawthorn is so very good. If you look at the talent on the field, Hawthorn has more talent than Collingwood. And I also think that Hawthorn's system, the way they play, is very disciplined. It's very definitive as well as Collingwood. That's why I think Hawthorn will win.
The thing I reckon why Collingwood will go all right here, if you look at the way Brisbane did last week when Hawthorn tried to bring the ball back into the corridor, the Lions turned up in numbers and just squashed the ball movement, just squashed the ability and the time and space they had for quick hands or run past. I reckon Collingwood are such a good team, they'll say, we're hunting them this week in that fashion. They'll have learnt from Brisbane and they will apply a similar game strategy. So it's up to Hawthorn to try and say, can we win in a slightly varied fashion?
Quick one. Mitchell has played the two ruckman all year when he can.
Yep.
Are they too tall, those two ruckmen?
I think they were a little disappointed when Mraz went out because he gave them a genuine jumping second ruckman option and could play down back as well.
Yeah.
So I think in a perfect world, you'll only play the two ruckmen against two opposition ruckmen who can be really threatening.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I think it'll be horses for courses in that regard. Aha, you know what's up next. We can see it on screen. Agree, disagree.
All right, me to you. With the Naz injury, it's pretty obvious to me, but does St Kilda rely on Naz too much?
I don't think they should rely on Naz too much, but they kind of do because the whole game is set up around giving the ball to Naz. Naz, you use your vision, you use your brilliance, you use your skills to put us in a better position.
There's a paddle there.
That's the first time I've forgotten. You do that regularly. 1 week off. 1 week.
You've forgotten a bit today, actually. The producer's in my ear saying, just get Dern back online.
James, Freo failed the MCG test.
No, disagree. I thought they played very, very well. They came against a good team. They didn't get over the line, but they would have learned a lot about how to play the MCG. They didn't fail it. Learned a lot. This is how they come back. It's not about your failure. It's about how you come back from your failure, Dern.
Oh, jeepers.
All right, mine to you.
I'm here with Julius Caesar.
Mine to you. All right, you've given GWS the out all show this show, but it's a disappointing end of the season for the Giants.
Have you heard of a team called the Gold Coast Suns?
No, but I'm saying they can both be disappointing. It's not saying it's one or the other.
Disappointment of the season is GWS. That means they're the number one disappointment. You were asking, are they the number one disappointment?
I changed the question.
No.
I said,
reading
are they
it here.
disappointing? Yeah, but I changed
I'm reading it here.
I changed. Are they disappointing or not?
Yes, they are disappointing, but they're not the disappointment
Well, answer
of
the
the
question
season.
I asked, not what I misread on the sheet.
You wrote it.
I misread it.
Collingwood love travelling.
Agree. They love getting out of Melbourne.
Do.
They love getting out of Melbourne. They play well. And they have done for years. I think since Nathan Buckley was played. That's a long time ago. Not as long as when you played, but
I played with him.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree with that. All right. This is a big one. Are the D's a legitimate flag contender?
Shizen, yeah. The grand final was played in Melbourne.
You know this show goes to Germany, don't you? Be careful.
Is it a real word, or is it just one of those ones we make up and think is German? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's played at the MCG, so if they can beat the best team of the comp that had only lost 2 games out of 21 weeks until last weekend, wow, that's real. What's that? I've got the what? Agreed. I've agreed. I just got the voice in my ear saying something about the paddle. Just announce Josh Fraser right now.
Agree. I think we all think that Josh Fraser's the candidate, and you have to feel sorry for the other candidates. But they've probably
done so well.
They've all done these presentations. They've come along. They've done the presentations. They've wowed them. But he's won 10 games out of 12. It doesn't matter what his PowerPoint slides say.
Yeah.
Just point to number 10.
Yeah.
And, but also the way they're playing. The players are obviously playing. I love to see a team that just tackles and chases and hunts for the coach, and it's pretty obvious they're a happy team. Well, not at Hawthorn, but at Carlton, and they're playing for the coach. He's done a great job.
We'll see. We'll see. That has been Footy Central. James, before we go, tell us what's on the horizon. Any news other than me hearing it from our mate Jason who makes our coffee?
I don't know. I've got no idea. I promise you I've got no idea.
Are you lying to us again?
No, I'm deadly serious. I don't know.
That's it from us. We're out. Goodbye.